Here to react to this verdict is former California Congressman and CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, Devin Nunes. Devin, good to see you, and thanks so much for coming back on. This bomb essentially went off, metaphorically speaking, earlier this afternoon. I spoke with Joe DeGeneva earlier about this one in Victoria, Tunsing, where they actually called this earlier. They said they thought he may be acquitted. Reason being, they cited a D.C. jury, a D.C. court, a D.C. judge. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, sad as we all had great hopes for this. We all want to see justice served. But look, in Washington, D.C., I spent nearly 2 decades there. You know, the place is getting worse and worse, and it's moving far and farther to the left. And I believe what the defense successfully did is they painted this as a anti-Trump thing. So in other words, well, Sussmann was doing all these bad things. Sure, Hillary Clinton was doing these things, but, you know, Donald Trump, you know, this was all about Donald Trump, and, you know, he should have never been president, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, you even had the defense calling this on the closing arguments last week, that this was all a conspiracy theory, you know. And the reality is you're damn right, it was a conspiracy, but it was a conspiracy done by Hillary Clinton. So, look, where do we go from here? Clearly, we're disappointed. This is not what any of us wanted to see as somebody who, you know, it was our investigation that unearthed all of this, that then led to Horowitz, that, you know, who also found all this very damaging information. And here you have an acquittal by a jury with Durham's first prosecution. I will say that the next indictment is going to be tried in Virginia. So I think what we learned in the Sussmann trial, there was a lot of new information that came out of that. And it'll be surprising if you get the same kind of tainted jury pool that you had in D.C. in Virginia. And also, we don't know if there's more indictments to come down the pipe from Durham, because it sure seems like with all the evidence that he produced at this Sussmann trial, there should be more indictments on the way.
Yeah, great point. Devin, I was surprised, perhaps, that Durham's response and reaction was very, very measured. What do you make of that?
Well, look, I think that prosecutors have to be. You have to remember everybody from the Biden White House to the Attorney General to everyone in the swamp there. They want this Durham investigation to go away. So I think Durham has to really abide by kind of the code of conduct, so to speak, that U.S. attorneys have to abide by. So I think if he was to come out and say anything other than he's disappointed, anything I think more than that, they would go after him for being politically charged, you know, promoting the conspiracy. You can write the storyline that the fake news media would love to create here. So I think Durham played it exactly right. He did what he had to do. He had to bring this case in D.C. He knew it was going to be a jury that was going to be against him. But at the same time, he's got to be careful, I think, what he says on the outside, because there's potentially many more indictments on the way, not to mention you have this trial coming up in September-October timeframe against the so-called source of the Steele dossier.
Yeah. Really quickly, before you go, I just want to ask you about this. I know you don't speak for former President Trump, but have you spoken to him with this recent breaking news that Sussmann was acquitted? If you have, do you have any reaction to share? Obviously, this is something that President Trump has been pushing against for quite some time. He's faced the Mueller probe, Russia over the years. What did today mean to him?
Well, look, I think he was very clear. He put out on Truth Social, you know, which is the company that I now run. He put out a very clear statement of his disappointment. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why you've seen President Trump bring a civil case in Florida against a lot of these conspirators, including Hillary Clinton and people within the FBI. This new guy that we didn't even find in our investigation, this Jaffe, who actually led an effort to spy on not only the Trump campaign, but later on Trump as the president. So look, the president clearly is disappointed, but I'll let his statement on Truth Social speak for itself, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more from him in the coming days and weeks ahead.
Devin Nunes joining us live. Devin, good to see you. Thank you for your time.